Did you know what I'm saying? It's what people like Ken and I do. You know, you don't want to model it, you want to study it. You want to keep it in the zoo. So, the feminine, on the other hand, in the moment, in every moment, this moment, is our capacity to actually identify with form. Now, I'm much more masculine, so anything I say is always going to be perverted by that subtle identification, but that's my art. So, to be perverted. So, when you're allowing yourself to identify with the feminine side, that which is moving, then you find, it's not like you go, now I'm in my feminine, or something like that. You spontaneously relax as form, as energy. You feel people, you move with those people immediately. You are motion itself. There is no motive to bring that motion to an end. The feminine has no motive toward peace, spaciousness. None! I don't know. I mean, think about it yourself. How many of you, you're with your lover and you want to sit there in silence for 3 days and not look at each other? That's me, but not you. You're identified with the feminine. That's literally what I do. I spend as much time alone. Well, so the feminine as a being. I mean, when let's say a human, it doesn't have to be human. You could do this in dream forms, so in the subtle level. You could do this with animals. So there's different levels. We'll get to that, but. When you identify with the feminine, you are immediately, in that moment, motion itself. You are emotion, internally, and motion, externally. So when any human in here, man or woman, relaxes to consent to be formed fully, they are in that moment, what I call, and again, this is just art. I could be wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. It's the flower I'm painting. I mean, if it's inspiring, great. If you want to toss it, great. But when you identify with the feminine, you find yourself alive as light. And you relate to everyone as light. You have no desire to bring something to an end. You're not going towards silence. Most spiritual traditions, obviously, that we're aware of, were founded by men. The ones that we have inherited. There are plenty founded by women, but because women don't write things down and try to codify them. Well, the feminine doesn't write things down and try to codify them. They don't get transmitted intact. They're all oral traditions. So you got people like whatever, Buddha, Jesus, 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. Yeah, the feminine idea of a great time. Why would anyone who natively identifies more with the feminine want to do these strange-ass masculine witness shit stuff? So, now, again, I speak this way for fun, really, but I do more of the witness kind of practices. I also do a lot of feminine practices, so it's good to do both. It's for everybody. But I wanted you to feel emotionally what you're getting into here, because we're trying to lead up to yogic sex and maybe even spiritual realization in the midst of sex. But to do that, you need to be clear about what sex is. And what sex is the replication through two bodies of conscious light as one, recognizing itself through another as two, masculine, feminine, observer, observed, dancer, beholder. Unless two people are willing to play those roles completely, you don't even start yogic practice. You're doing therapy, which is good. I do therapy on myself and with others all the time. So again, in the kind of art that I'm offering you, I'm going to put a spin kind of poo-pooing therapy only to contrast it to what I'm trying to talk about. But believe me, I'm as messed up and currently working on my messed upness as much as anybody here. So I'm a great believer in skillful means in therapy, but I'm going to purposely kind of compare things to it. So, what does that mean? Two bodies, two or more bodies, one body, dream bodies, going, there is no other. Hello, light. Yes, it's the dance that is happening right now. This light dancing, sound, by light I mean all energy, capital E, capital L, you know, light energy, happening, dancing, moving right now, or as this. And there's also a part that has never changed. There's a part of you right now that is continuous with your entire life. When you were 2 years old, that one was there. That one's there right now, even though I referred to it a few seconds ago, and everything else has changed. So the part of you that's the same is what I call the masculine side. So to have yogic sex, you need to be able to play through your body those two forms. Now, you could be two men doing it together, two women, a man and a woman. You could do it with physical objects. You could do it in relationship to the divine altogether. I mean, there's, again, we could get into the refinements of it over time. You know, I ask people, like, so what is your relationship? And they'll say things like, well, I'm in an open relationship. It's very spiritual. I have a, you know, I'm a woman. I have two men friends that I have sex with, and then a third that watches my children when I'm with them. And then it's like, well, does that work out for you? And they're like, oh yeah, it works out. You know, and it's like, okay, back to therapy. But they're, yogically, again, you want to play with the extremes, or artistically, you want to play with extremes. That includes sexual extremes only if you want to make sexual art. It's not for everybody. I mean, I don't know, do you know any really good musicians? Do you know what it takes to be a really good musician? Do you know how much you have to practice just to be spontaneous? I mean, to be a really good musician, painter, dancer, it's constant discipline so that the spontaneous ecstasy can arise without any conditioning whatsoever. Constant work, so it's all effortless and spontaneous in the giving of it. Is that how you want to approach your sexuality? Karmically, that's how I had to. I don't know. Maybe I won't have to again. Maybe I will. So I'm sharing that with you. But if you're not motivated to do that, do not approach sexuality as an art. Just, you know, get your rocks off, feel affection, make it like nice massage, good friends, looking into each other's eyes deeply and exchanging love. But if you want to make it into art, if you want to make it into yoga, if you do, not necessary for spiritual growth to do so, not necessarily necessary to do anything for spiritual growth. If you want to make it into an art, you must be able to play the extremes through the body, all extremes, all sexual extremes. Not because sexual extremes are good. It's just like if you're a musician, you want to practice the extremes of a scale on a guitar, on a piano. You've got to play. You've got to go, oh, can't do that. That's my boundary there. You push the edges. So artistically, sex is the same thing. Now, again, not all people are up to that. Not all people have the fortitude, the disposition, the perversion to create art out of their sexuality. Just like most don't through music or painting. But everyone here wants to practice, I'm guessing. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to practice sexually, what that means to me is making art out of your sexuality, not therapy. You must do therapy, too. That's your business. So